Welcome to a journey through time, to a land where continents collide and history is etched into every stone. This is the story of Turkey, a nation at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, whose past is a breathtaking saga of empires, cultures, and transformations. From the dawn of civilization in ancient Anatolia to the vibrant modern republic it is today, let's uncover the epic history of Turkey. Our story begins not with cities or empires, but with a mystery. Here in Anatolia, around 10,000 BCE, ancient people built Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest known temple. This incredible sanctuary, predating Stonehenge by millennia, suggests that organized religion may have sparked civilization itself. Fast forward to the Bronze Age, and Anatolia becomes a cradle of empires. The mighty Hittites rose to power around 1600 BCE, building a kingdom from their capital, Hattusa, that challenged even the great pharaohs of Egypt. They were pioneers, giving the world some of its earliest written laws and mastering the art of iron-making, a technology that would change warfare forever. After the Hittite Empire mysteriously collapsed, Anatolia fragmented into smaller kingdoms. Among them was Lydia, a kingdom that gave the world a revolutionary invention in the 7th century BCE, the first coins. This small piece of metal transformed trade and laid the groundwork for modern economics. But a new power was rising in the east. In the 6th century BCE, Cyrus the Great and his Persian army swept across Anatolia, absorbing it into the vast Achaemenid Empire. For 2 centuries, Persian culture left its mark, until another legendary figure arrived. In 334 BCE, Alexander the Great marched his armies into Anatolia, shattering Persian rule and ushering in the Hellenistic Age. Greek philosophy, art, and language flourished, blending with local traditions in cities like Ephesus and Miletus, creating a rich cultural tapestry that still fascinates us today. Following Alexander's death, his empire was torn apart by his generals. Into this power vacuum stepped Rome. By the 1st century BCE, Rome had consolidated its control over Anatolia, a wealthy and strategic province. The Romans were master builders, and under their rule, the region flourished. They constructed vast networks of roads, grand aqueducts, and magnificent theaters, many of which you can still walk through today. But the empire's center of gravity was about to shift eastward. In 330 CE, Emperor Constantine the Great made a monumental decision. He founded a new capital, naming it Constantinople, the New Rome, right here on the shores of the Bosphorus. When the Roman Empire eventually split, Constantinople became the glittering heart of the Eastern Roman, or Byzantine Empire. For over 1,000 years, the Byzantine Empire was a beacon of Christian faith, Greek culture, and Roman law. It was a civilization that produced architectural marvels like the Hagia Sophia, a dome so vast it seemed to hang from the heavens. But the empire was under constant threat. It faced invasions from Persians, Arabs, and a new force gathering in the east, the Turks. Originally from the steppes of Central Asia, Turkic tribes began migrating westward. The decisive moment came in 1071 at the Battle of Manzikert. The Seljuk Turks, led by Sultan Alp Arslan, crushed the Byzantine army, a victory that swung open the gates of Anatolia to Turkish settlement. The Seljuks established the Sultanate of Rum, with its capital in Konya. Under their rule, Anatolia was transformed once again. They introduced Islamic art, founded universities, and built stunning mosques and caravanserais, turning the region into a hub of learning and culture. This was the era of the great poet and mystic Rumi, whose words of love and tolerance still resonate globally. However, the Seljuks' power was shattered in the 13th century by a devastating Mongol invasion. From the ashes of their empire, numerous small Turkish principalities, known as beyliks, emerged. One of these, a small frontier state led by a chieftain named Osman, was destined for greatness. This was the humble beginning of the Ottoman Empire. Founded around 1299, the Ottoman state grew with astonishing speed. It was an empire built on conquest, ambition, and vision. The ultimate prize was Constantinople, the thousand-year-old bastion of Christendom. In 1453, the young Sultan Mehmed II, forever known as the Conqueror, achieved the impossible. Using massive cannons, his forces breached the city's legendary walls, ending the Byzantine Empire and heralding a new world order. Constantinople was reborn as Istanbul, the magnificent capital of a global Islamic empire. From this seat of power, the Ottomans would come to rule over 3 continents, stretching from Hungary in the north to Arabia in the south, and from North Africa to the Caucasus. The empire reached its zenith under the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century. His era was a golden age of military power, legal reform, and cultural achievement. Suleiman's armies marched to the gates of Vienna, his navies controlled the Mediterranean, and his court was a center of artistic brilliance. Architects like the great Mimar Sinan adorned Istanbul's skyline with masterpieces like the Süleymaniye Mosque, testaments to the empire's wealth and glory. The Topkapi Palace, with its lavish courts and secret chambers, became the nerve center of an empire that shaped the course of world history for centuries. But no empire lasts forever. From the 17th century onward, the Ottoman Empire began a slow, painful decline. A combination of internal corruption, costly military defeats, and the rise of industrial powers in Europe chipped away at its strength. By the 19th century, it was known as the sick man of Europe. Despite desperate attempts at modernization through the Tanzimat reforms, the empire continued to fracture as nationalist movements swept through its Balkan and Arab territories, demanding independence. The final, fatal blow came with the First World War. The Ottomans sided with Germany, a decision that led to catastrophic defeat and the occupation of their lands by Allied forces. The once mighty empire lay in ruins, its fate to be decided by foreign powers. But from the ashes of defeat, a new national spirit was forged. A brilliant and charismatic Ottoman general named Mustafa Kemal refused to accept the dismemberment of his homeland. He rallied the Turkish people and led the Turkish War of Independence from 1919 to 1922, a heroic struggle against occupying forces. Against all odds, his armies drove out the invaders, securing the Turkish heartland. On October 29, 1923, Mustafa Kemal, who would be given the name Atatürk, or Father of the Turks, proclaimed the Republic of Turkey, with Ankara as its new capital. The centuries-old Ottoman Sultanate was abolished. Ataturk launched a revolutionary series of reforms to transform Turkey into a modern, secular, and Western-oriented nation. He replaced the Arabic script with a Latin alphabet, established secular courts, granted women the right to vote long before many European nations, and championed science and education. His guiding principle was peace at home, peace in the world, a vision that shaped Turkey's destiny. After Ataturk's death in 1938, Turkey navigated the turbulent waters of the 20th century. It remained neutral during World War II, but firmly aligned with the West during the Cold War, joining NATO in 1952. The country experienced rapid economic growth and social change, though its path to stable democracy was interrupted by military coups. In recent decades, Turkey has asserted itself as a major regional power, balancing its complex identity between Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Today, Turkey stands as a living museum, a testament to the countless civilizations that have called this land home. It's a place where ancient ruins stand next to modern cities, where Eastern traditions blend with Western aspirations. The story of Turkey is a powerful reminder that history is not just a relic of the past, it is the living foundation of the present. From the world's first temples to a republic born from the ashes of an empire, this is a nation built on layers of incredible human achievement. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible historical journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stories from our amazing world. See you next time.